Hello, my name is Saraya Marc.
And I'm Marc Sadique.
And you are watching Lebaran AWANI.
Awani.
All right, so we are very, very excited to be here in Rumah Putih today, our official sponsor. And we are especially excited because the past 2 years, it was a global pandemic. And we could not celebrate Hari Raya as normal. And this is actually the first year that we could actually celebrate Hari Raya as close to normalcy as possible.
As close as possible.
Transition into intimacy.
Yeah.
So today we are actually going to talk about the fashion, arts, and cultures industry's recovery as we transition to intimacity. But before that, let me ask you, how is your Raya this year?
It's going to be a very exciting one. First of all, when we talk about Raya, we talk about food, we talk about family, family time, bonding time with family members. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one since for the past 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And aside from food and family, of course, when we think about Raya, we think about, fashion, culture, and tradition.
Yes, right.
And today, we have two familiar faces who are from different backgrounds, but they share the love for fashion, arts, and culture. So thank you so much, Whulan, for being here today, and Alena.
Thank you.
So Whulandary Herman, she is an Indonesian actress, model, and also television host who was Miss Universe Indonesia 2013. And now she resides in Malaysia. And she is also very active in the fashion industry.
Thank you for having me today, guys.
It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to have you. And our second guest today is Alena Murang. She is half Italian and half Sarawakian. She is a Borneo-born musical artist who is very well known for playing the traditional instrument sape. And interestingly, she is one of the first professionally performer of the instrument of sape, right? So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, and Selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya, Maaf Saya Batin.
It's so awesome to have you guys today on Hari Raya.
Yes, it is a pleasure to have you both. So interesting fact is that both of you guys, both of you ladies have hometowns across oceans. And for the past 2 years of the pandemic, travel has not been so easy.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, right. So my question is for Whulan. You have families both in Malaysia and Indonesia. So how is the mood celebrating Raya during the past 2 years?
Wow, is it really, is it tough for me actually? Because my first time Raya was here is during pandemic. So I moved here basically two or 3 years ago. So actually lockdown, and then we live during the pandemic. So I'm so sad because almost 3 years I didn't see my family. So thank God to the WhatsApp call, video call.
Right.
For me now, as long my parents is healthy and happy, is Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Exactly. So this year, are you actually planning to go back to Raya on maybe the third Raya onwards? I mean, to Indonesia.
Yeah, this year I'm planning to go back maybe Raya 7. So because I'm gonna spend Raya here with my husband family. So after that maybe I will go back to Jakarta for 2 weeks. Yeah, finally after 3 years.
I see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It's hard to believe we've just been in this pandemic.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but now we learn if you still give Allah give you healthy and happy, you have to be grateful because we see along during the pandemic, so many dear friends and parents pass away because the pandemic. So if you still have parents, so you must be grateful.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it's definitely time for me to go back to Thailand, which my dad is over there.
Exactly.
But anyway, I have a question for you, Alena. So last year, 2021, was Malaysia was in the midst of lockdowns, right? But your music video for the song Warrior Spirit actually won 2 international awards.
Wow.
So tell us how that happened.
I have to say, I think now it's at 8 international awards.
Oh, wow. Okay, I missed that out. Amazing.
Good job.
That'd be great.
I have to say it's incredible because we actually started shooting in 2020, and then we had to add on extra shooting days in 2021. So it was this really long process where so many artists came on board and just offered themselves as artists, as dancers, as wardrobe, as crew, as musicians. And I felt that, in a time where everyone, but especially artists, are struggling so much, I just felt that so touched that they came on board and made this music video. It's just a beautiful creation, and it came out at exactly the right time because we were going into another lockdown just as it had come out, and I think everybody needed that warrior spirit in them.
Right.
Wow. So I guess that's a silver lining. Like not everything about the pandemic is bad, I guess I would say. Like at that time specifically, you had support from all of these artists who actually were impacted as well, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about a little bit about your album Sky Songs, where most of the songs are inspired by the nature elements like sky, moon, winds, and stuff like that. So I would like to know how it all started.
How it all started.
Yeah.
How Sky Song started, or how
the
longer
album
journey.
Maybe you can talk about what inspires or what is the message hidden in the songs, because these days the modern songs we don't naturally listen to songs that is nature based. So maybe you want to talk about it.
I always laugh because I say I don't write love songs, I don't write breakup songs, you know, everything else
It's all
that's
about
on
energy.
everything else that's on the radio. And for me, with Sapit music, I started playing when I was 10 years old. And we just always learned that our music is very closely related to nature. The lyrics are about the rivers, being together with my friends, about eating together. So at one point, when I was much older and grown more as an artist, I kind of thought about what it meant to be a Sapit musician. How did my ancestors write? And they were inspired by nature. So that's how Sky Songs came about.
To follow up the questions, most of the songs are in Kalabit language, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So how the process of expressing the songs in a different language, and perhaps if there's any future plans of doing the song in maybe other languages as well.
So I sing in both Kalabit and Kenyah language, which can also be found in Indonesia and in Kalimantan, and they're endangered languages. And to be honest, I'm not fluent in Kalabit or Kenyah, but my dad is Kalabit. So actually learning the songs and writing the songs is a way for me to learn the language. And the process is that I will write and draft the lyrics, and then I'll send it to my dad or my auntie and ask them if it makes sense to them, and then they might rework it. And then we just put it to music, and that's how it goes.
All right, interesting.
That's
very interesting.
No, okay, so this question is for Whulan. You actually just got back from Indonesia for fashion shoots, and I believe you were actually back in your beauty camp, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So as we transition into endemicity, how does the fashion industry actually differ, the recovery of the fashion industry differ in Indonesia and also in Malaysia? What did you see as different?
No, I think this year, I'm talking a lot about my designer friends, and then I asked them, how's the pandemic impact to their business? But surprisingly, during the last 2 years, the pandemic, people still shop. So they still shop. Even they're not going for Raya open house, right? But actually they still shop. Of course, it's not the same as the normal, but people still buy. So I'm so glad, because the designers and everyone in this industry, of course, they are really tough now, a tough moment for everyone, but they're still doing this business is really good. And also in Malaysia, all the designers, they're still doing the fashion show, and then I'm still doing a lot of Raya shoot. So it's good. Everyone back again to the
What about online? Like I have noticed that many fashion shows are now based online. Is that still relevant in the fashion industry?
Yeah. Surprisingly, last week I was in Jakarta, so I attend like 3 fashion shows during Ramadan, and all people calm and happy. And of course, before you get into the show, you have to doing the swab and the etiquette test. And everyone really use masks anymore. And I was surprised. Wow.
Unfortunately, we have to wear masks now.
I can show my lipstick and then my makeup, So now I do shoot here. After this, I'm still use mask. So
nobody knows what lipstick color it is, so it's a secret.
So that's the difference, I feel. Yeah. Now in Jakarta, people really live with the new norm.
That's right. I'm glad it's picking up again, and I'm glad everybody's just, back at it. And it doesn't matter, pandemic, endemic, anything. We just gotta keep moving.
Exactly.
Forward,
Life must go on.
Speaking about keep moving, as we are moving to the phase of endemicity, so in your opinion, do you think that this pandemic has somehow given a huge impact to the fashion industry, as in maybe the way designer, have to design the masks, for example, for the fashion show and stuff like that. Because I think it's very interesting to see how pandemic has impacted the world in general, especially in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
So what do you think about maybe we are moving forward to a phase where it could be a new era for the designer to design very fashionable masks, etc.
That's good, right? Because a lot of creative designers they are thinking how to survive during the pandemic. We saw before they have a lot of like a collection, but now mostly they have their own mask. So I think this is really good. And every designer also in Indonesia, in Jakarta, they adjust the way they dress also, and then a lot of business run because of the mask, and then also the face shield. They're also doing that. So it's good. At least during the pandemic, the business to run. This is the most important thing.
That's a great thing. Yeah.
Speaking of masks, your mask is really
I really love the design.
Oh, this is a songkit one.
Songkit.
Yeah,
it's songkit. Yeah.
So Alena, you represent Borneo so well. Not only how you're the way you dress, but also in your music and the way you portray yourself. So what actually inspires you to continue to advocate for ethnicity and culture in an ever-changing world and a modern world especially?
Gosh, that's a big question. I love Borneo and Sarawak so much.
Wow. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, and I just think, the people are beautiful, culture is beautiful, and I just want to share the stories to the world.
That's great. Well, we are going to take a quick break before we continue our discussion on the fashion, arts, and cultures industry's recovery as we transition into endemicity. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Lebaran AWANI with me, Saraya Marc.
And me, Marc Sadique. Welcome back. And Saraya Marc, I want to talk about your beautiful outfit tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very beautiful and so bright. So
Lady in red today.
Yeah, it's very bright. Maybe you want to talk about your feeling about how you spent your Raya yesterday.
Well, okay, so first, I really love this outfit because it's like, I'm actually a very traditional sort of person, so I like the choice of this outfit. It's actually quite vintage looking, and I also like yours.
Thank you. By the way, I like how the color of your outfit is matching with your skin tone, so it's really nice. It's really nice.
What a nice compliment.
Yeah, he gave me a nice compliment right there.
All right, okay, moving on.
Right, so okay, fashion, as I was mentioning just now, it's ever changing, but then it also recycles, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask the both of you, as things like arts, culture, fashion also, changes, how do we actually plan to stay relevant in the future as things keep changing? Anyone want to go first?
I think you just have to, for me, like when you talk about fashion, I'm not really like into what is trend now. For me, more like I like to use like that, like this what I wear today. Maybe tomorrow I can wearing with jeans, I can wearing with the other things.
That's what I like about you.
So it's save a lot of, not just save a lot of money, but also it's good for our future, right? You don't need to change every time.
Recycle.
So I'm more like very, I don't know if that's very traditional, but I don't really into it to trend.
So meaning to say that whether you're following the trend, you create the trend itself or recreate the trend.
Yeah, they
right?
create that because you can wear that many times, and not just like one time. Sometimes people like one time you post on the Instagram and the baju is done.
Yeah, right.
So for me, I think I wear it many times.
I love that. I think for me, I think a lot of people know that I like to kind of like infuse the traditional with the contemporary, and if it's just a white t-shirt, jeans, and some Dayak beads, for example.
The earring is so nice.
Yeah, these were handmade by an auntie.
Wow, very
in
nice.
Sarawak. So I like little things like that, little handmade things as well.
The touch, but they have a meaningful on it, right?
Yeah.
What about for your music? it's very traditional. Is it just niche? Like in the future, will that
Yeah.
still? How do you plan to actually make it a thing forever?
I mean, funny story, I never planned for any of this, right?
Uh-huh.
And I thought about it, and if we look in the past, we look at my great-grandmother, the songs that she sang, she would have changed them for her own time. She would have changed the lyrics, and my grandmother changed the lyrics that my great-grandmother sang.
Oh.
And what we're doing now is the same thing. We just take the music, change the lyrics, change the song, add in some guitars, some drums, and just make it relevant to our time. So I hope that whatever we're writing now will also, the next generation can take it, adapt it, and then, make it relevant. Because I think that's
really
how,
like that.
that's how culture
really
stays. It has to evolve. It has to adapt. You cannot preserve
Basically,
it,
I really like the idea of fusing the traditional one and the current traditional one. So speaking of tradition, right? So I have a question for both of you too. So the pandemic has impacted the way we gather. I mean, as in traditional gathering in our family. So now that the curbs lifted, so how does that make you feel about being able to gather again, to meet your family again? Because I believe pandemic has prevented us from meeting our family for quite so long,
at least
for
in
about 2
Malaysia
years.
with the lockdowns on and off.
On and off, and especially when it comes to family gathering. So how does
So
that
glad
make
that's
you feel?
done.
I mean, I really miss my parents. I live in KL and they're based in Kuching. So just being able to see them and spend time with them. I actually just got back from
That's
Kuching to see
lovely.
them.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the big open houses that we used to have before and the big gatherings give me a little bit of anxiety.
I know, right?
I get it, I get it.
know,
After
yeah.
spending 2 years in a lockdown, and how do you feel?
Yeah, now like every time you go, even to my mother-in-law house, they say, "Oh, please do the
RTK.
RTK." So this is the
Yes,
new
yeah.
norm. Everywhere we go, so you just have to do that. And then that's fine as long we can sit together, eat together, enjoy the raya, which is we missed that already 2 years, right? So for me, the tradition is still there. Even we missed the last 2 years, but now let's make it happen. But of course we have to do
To stay vigilant. Yeah. Remember, Mia, we talked about it, like how we discussed on the impact of pandemic and how it may bring some anxiety to some people to meet their family back. So it's very interesting to know, right?
Yeah,
So,
even though with all of the new SOPs, but like I think
It's true.
back to the whole, trying to
exactly.
adapt.
Yep.
This is also the same. We're just making the best out of what we
Everything,
can.
yeah.
Right?
But sometimes like funny, right? When you do like batuk or sneezing,
I know.
Oh,
they
no.
look at me like they run away, like the kids. And then they know what Wulan just
I know.
sneezing. Oh my God, I'm wearing my mask. Don't worry.
Exactly.
People look now,
Exactly.
when you do sneezing,
Yeah.
they will look
Yeah.
at you.
Careful.
They excuse me. Like,
Exactly.
It's like if you cough these days, it's like stay away.
Are you okay? Okay.
Okay, so now I want to ask you a little personal question. Now, so Wulan, you are Indonesian, but you're married to a Malaysian, and you have 2 beautiful children. And also, Alena, you are half Dayak, half European Italian.
Yeah.
So both of you are from sort of mixed culture family. What's the best thing about being in a mixed culture family? Anyone
I
wanna go
like
first?
this question. It's because Indonesia and Malaysia we are serumpun, right? We are
Yeah.
keluarga actually.
Betul.
Just like, of course, we have a lot of different things here also, but I learned a lot of in Malaysian culture when I was here 3 years, and then a lot of things are actually different. Even we are close, but a lot of things different.
That's interesting.
And then I love the differences. Like example like this, in Padang, from my hometown, when we eat lemang, we eat with something sweet. I was so surprised when I see my husband eat rendang. And we tried lemang with rendang. I said, "Hey, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I don't eat rendang with sweet."
So now you accept it?
I'm okay, but I don't
Still
know.
still not
adapting.
really.
I think it's
See,
weird.
sorry, but I don't eat it.
So what about
It's
your
okay, your
kids?
husband won't watch this.
It's really different, yeah.
Yeah. See, what about your kids? Are they excited to go back to your hometown and then try the different culture? Because
They're
kids
very
are
My
very
kid is
excited
very
to.
young, but they've
Yeah.
never been to
I
Indonesia
see.
yet. But but
Are they
they
excited?
will learn also about Indonesia. But
I
that's
see.
the small thing I saw you about the lemang. Yeah.
Do they speak in Indonesia as well? Do you speak in Indonesia with them?
Yes,
Ah,
they
that's
speak
good.
in,
Yeah, that's good.
Indonesia and Malaysia and English.
Okay, that's great.
That's great. That's
So
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Multi-language?
Well, for me, I think just growing up in a very mixed household was it opened my heart and opened my eyes a lot. So it's made me very adaptable to work with all kinds of people and to just to be exposed to many, many different experiences. I was always told I have to finish everything on my plate, doesn't matter if you like it or not, because...
Which side is this?
Sorry?
Which side is this one?
Yeah, that's my Italian side. But quite interestingly, right? Italian values and Asian values are very similar.
Really?
Really?
Yes, if you
what
think
else?
about it, like Italian mothers are very, very strict, just like
I
Asian
did not
mothers.
know that.
Yeah.
I see.
Yes, a lot of my friends
That's
are
interesting.
quite surprised because they always say like, oh, but it's not. Aren't Western people a little bit more relaxed?
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what I
yeah, but my mom's Italian. They're still quite strict.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
there's a lot of similarities as well.
I see. That's good. Do you find it a little bit hard to like accept who you are as a mixed person? I mean, as in when people ask you.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because people usually ask you, what are you?
What are you?
Do you have difficult times in accepting who you are? As in, like
Which
who is-
side am I?
Yeah, exactly.
Both.
Yeah, well,
Everything.
I think she probably has the same experience.
We all do actually.
We all are.
For me, the answer is yes. I went to SMK and I had kids tell me to go back to my country.
Oh my gosh, that's harsh.
Yeah, and it was tough up until my early 20s. And I actually think art and music helped me a lot through it to kind of work through that and work through identity, as you can see in my work quite clearly. But yeah, I've kind of, settled with that now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So
How do you relate music and finding your identity? I found that really interesting.
interesting question. Yeah.
It's kind of finding your roots keeps you rooted.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's
that's
something
correct.
that you cannot
Yeah.
really explain on paper, but it's
Yeah.
this feeling where if you're if you know where you came from, then you know where you're going. So I
Yeah,
think just
right,
keeping close
exactly.
to my culture really helped that.
Well, I can tell that both of you are very strong, beautiful women. So, is there any message that you would like to tell to every woman that is out there,
Especially
who in a very
during the
old of life?
pandemic.
Yeah, especially maybe some of them who lost their jobs or families,
true.
etc.
Like
So,
you mentioned
is there any
just now.
message that you would like to tell them?
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to tell all the women out there to keep strong. I know women are incredibly, incredibly strong, and I find that out every single day, how strong we are. And to just reach out to your sisters if you need any help or support.
Yeah. Yeah, same with Alena also. For me, as a woman now, we just have to support each other. It's the most important thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, especially
All
during
right.
these times, right?
Well, those were the thoughts of Whulandary Herman and Alena Murang. Thank you so much for tuning into Lebaran AWANI. I hope you guys will continue to watch Astro AWANI. My name is Saraya Mia.
And I'm Marc Sadique. Selamat Hari Raya, maaf zahir dan batin.
Selamat Hari Raya.